This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Another thing that, wrestling fans want to know, this is another era, of course. Did you know about the quote unquote wrestler handshake? And when you meet Grizzly for the first time, do you give him that or do you give him a regular doodle in the street handshake?
No, it's funny. This is one that I kind of figured out on my own, but just because of the way it felt to me, the limp fish handshake feels terrible.
It's weird.
Now, when you grab a guy too firm, it's like you're trying to be
Have
something
a contest. Yeah.
That you might not be.
Yeah.
But when you shake a man in any form of business or an in-law or someone you're meeting and, that is a friend of someone else's, shake their hand like a man. Just be a man.
Yeah.
Be a firm handshake. It's like, I got you.
Yeah.
In those days. So I never did do the limp fish too much. It just gave me the willies.
It is weird. So you find yourself, I know you fast forwarded, but I just keep pulling this back. I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry. If I skip over thing you think we should cover, man, please, because that's what I feel like I did the first time. We got ahead of ourselves and all these questions that people have, we didn't answer them. So let's answer them.
So you're in the building, you're in the back. When you're there, when you show up to the building, you walk in civilian clothes and get dressed in the dressing room. And
yes.
Then you have multiple sets of gear because, hey, they might be taping multiple weeks and I might need multiple pairs of trunks. Or did you have multiple pairs of trunks at the time?
I had 1 pair of boots, 2 pair of knee pads, and 3 pair of trunks.
So going back to the very beginning, who told you? Was it Ted Allen who says, here's where you get your boots and trunks?
Yes, he did. And in those days, it was Noel Ash to begin with, back before my time, from Arkansas. And then Bill Ash, who they were excellent boot makers, incredible boot makers. And that's where I got all the boots that I got during my career, and everybody from my generation, pretty much, I think, and before, got them from Noel and Bill Ash.
So back in the day, these days everything's a little different, but back in the day, they would just tell you, hey, measure here to here and send me a check to this address with those measurements, or do you just call them over the phone, or how does that work?
Pretty much send him a cashier check. He said, what's your foot size? And I said, 11D. And that's all the information he made that he needed.
So he didn't have to measure your calf or anything like that. He could just get it.
No.
Okay. And so as far as the trunks and stuff go, did he make those as well? Or is that
no
fella?
That came from K&H.
Wow. Everybody used them forever.
They did great work. And this was a time when, this was prior to guys wearing the long, tights so much, certainly before spandex and leather and all that, the flashy stuff that they do wear, today and have worn for 30 years. But when I first started, everybody had K&H tights, and that was who you used.
So let me ask, when you, with Watts, and then I guess we'll ask about Pennsylvania or Pensacola too. I've been fortunate enough to be back, in a modern locker room in the last 10 years or whatever. And there's usually a board, and that board, and we've even seen it on old documentaries from the 90s, might be a dry erase board or whatever. And it's got all the matches listed. Is that the way they handled their business back then? Or does somebody come up and just tell you, but there is no listing of not necessarily who's winning, but who's working together and who the referees are?
There is a piece of paper on both halls by the babyface locker rooms and the heel locker rooms. And that was it. That was your responsibility to find it, figure out when you were on, what you were doing, and they would bring the information to you. You just make sure you're available.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.